When I joined the Mystery Decoder team 4 years ago, my life was anything but mysterious. I got up every day going to work and filled the rest of the little time I had with going to movies, playing golf, meeting with friends, and going with my mom to her doctor appointments. I had questions on many things, but since I could not find convincing answers, I just buried all my curiosity along with my head in the sand. But it all changed when I was recruited by Sherry to be her narrator. She had a successful career as a CPA and realtor, but one day decided to remove her own head from the sand and stick it into the unknown. I thought I should encourage her drive, although I did not think one person could do too much. I recall teasing her about her English, although I have to admit that I may have been a little too critical. But she put her 2 cents out on everything she had questions and opinions on. For example, from Nibiru to crop circles, aliens, the JFK assassination, and on to if Paul McCartney is dead. Imagine how many people laughed at her, but she went on to share her thoughts about the murder of John Benet Ramsey, the future according to Nostradamus, Baba Vanga, and the Chinese prophecy of Tuibei-Tu. You may be surprised how a channel no one knew of could get so many views in just 3.5 years. I mean, with all original content and a very limited budget. Well, if you ask me how, I will tell you that I think it is because of my voice. But most people like her work because she was never shy of sharing her views. And today we will share with you one of our most shocking finds. The current trade war with China was revealed in the 1,300-year-old Chinese prophecy of Tuibei-Tu. For people who have not watched my Tuibei-Tu videos, let me tell you a little about it. Tuibei-Tu is a prophecy written 1,300 years ago during the Tang Dynasty. It has only 60 poems, but has correctly predicted every important event in Chinese history. We're in the process of making a detailed film for people who would like to see how that prophecy has described events and even naming major players. The shocking accuracy casts doubts to most people, as they can't believe someone 1,300 years ago can know how long the Ming Dynasty will last, how the last emperors would die, and the names of the rebels that would kill 600 million to 2 billion people between 1851 to 1861. But what we have found recently will shock many people, because we have broken the codes. I mean, we really did what no one has done and broken the codes on events which have happened during the last 70 years. Poem 39 is about World War II, which had been decoded before both Sherry and I were born. But we found Chiang Kai-shek, Mao Zedong, Zhu Enlai in Poem 40, the prediction of how the Chinese Civil War would end, and in Poem 41, how Deng Xiaoping would get Hong Kong back from United Kingdom, and which year he would die. In Poem 42, we found the name about Korea, China, Japan, the U.S. fleet, the year of the Korean War, how the two China's relationship changed during the Korean War. What we have found was shocking, and shockingly accurate. But what we said about Poem 43 is a little less than impressive. It seemed to show the relationship between China and Taiwan, but we did not find any important names. And since Tuibei-Tu only talks about important matters, it is not likely that he would use an important poem to describe something everyone knew. But because Tuibei-Tu follows a strict timeline, we know number 43 must be about something that either has happened, or will happen soon, or is happening now. Since we found President Xi's name in poem number 44, a possible World War III in poem number 45, and Taiwan's rising political star number 46, so Number 43 must be about a major event. And we finally made a breakthrough. It happened when Sherry took a 20-hour flight to Indonesia to accept her Royal World Prize. But with no internet, she decided to look at number 43 poem for 5 hours. During this time, she discovered the names of Meng, Huawei's CFO, detained in Canada for supposedly selling equipment to Iran, and her father's name, and even how she was arrested. Think I made this up? Well, the prophecy book was in circulation for 1,300 years. It was mentioned in the Song Dynasty history book, which was 1,000 years ago. The current copy was in King Palace 400 years back. And then Sherry first read the poem 40 years ago. The poem has 3 parts. The short poem reads, means the king is not a king and the Lord is not a lord. Started bad, but eventually overcome. And the long poem reads, black rabbit walked to green dragon hole. Want to end, but can't, for untold reasons. The tree outside, root extended. 30 years children and grandchildren gathered. And the picture showed an old man walking with the young one, side by side. Huawei is the world's second largest cell phone manufacturer, and it is also the leader in 5G technology. This is the name of its founder, Ren Zhongfei, and this is the name of his daughter, Meng Wanzhou. What would you say if I can show you how Huawei, Ren Zhongfei, and Meng Wanzhou names are all in this poem? Hua is here, Wei is here, Ren, the founder's last name, is here, Zhong, the first name, is here, Fei, the middle name, is here. The daughter's last name, Meng, is the combination of these 2 characters. The left part of the first name can be found here, here, or here, while the right part is here. For people who refuse to accept my cut and paste, let me show you in another way. Meng Wanzhou's first name means late or night. The 2 most common ways to call night is either dark night or late night. The long poem started by saying, dark rabbit walked to green dragon hole. The Chinese call dangerous place as dragon swap tiger hole. And this one says, Meng Wanzhou walked into the dangerous trap. The second line of the long poem says, want to end but can't for untold reasons. China wants to end this, but the US and Canada won't allow it. Was it for reasons can't speak of? Or it is China's request to seal all court papers to protect Huawei at the start of the case? But the third and fourth lines show how the events unfold. The tree outside, root extended 30 years, children and grandchildren gathered. To the founder, the event involved his children. And if Tuibei is right, then she may be indicted for 30 years or even life in prison, as it says, won't end. Now, let's look at the picture. We can see an old man giving orders to a young kid. I hate to say this, but does it look like President Trump speaking to Canada's Justin Trudeau? Justin is the Prime Minister, the Lord, while President Trump is the King. But the Lord does not report to the King. That's why the author called it, the King is not a king, and the Lord is not a Lord. But they kind of walk together on this matter. But the finding does present 2 big questions. 1, what does the poem say about the outcome? 2nd, is this matter really big enough to be in Tuibei 2? Remember, only important events are ever revealed in the book. For the first one, I will try my bold decoding. The third line of the short poem stated, starting badly, but eventually overcome. It sounds like it will end fine. But a lot of clues are hidden in the poem. The word start is made of the word girl, or daughter. So the daughter started this, and it started badly. The word eventual included the word winter. So I have a feeling that we may know something by wintertime. And the word overcome includes two words. One is a cross on top of the word brother, and the other one is a cap over the characters under people. So I think the defense may put the blame on her brother, who is not in custody, or have the evidence linked to their staff, which is the word under people. Now the even more important question: why is Huawei in Tuibei 2? Whether she is eventually released or not, I think this is not only the start of the trade war, but also the start of a world war. The bad will which will accumulate between the two superpowers was at a boiling point before the crisis, and this may be the spark that ignites the explosion. Remember, World War I started with the assassination of the Archduke of Austria, Franz Ferdinand, heir presumptive to the Austro-Hungarian throne. Could this really be the reason that this event is so detailed described in this 1,300-year-old prophecy? Until the event unfolded months ago, we had no idea about the information hidden in Tuibei 2. But with these new findings, we have more insight into the following poems. Poem number 44 has President Xi's name. Poem number 45 seemed to be about World War III. And number 46 is the world after the war, which we believe we already partially decoded. This is Ken Peters. Thank you for watching.